Greetings to my team of 144, all Starseeds, Lightworkers, and Wayshowers. It is 652019, and of course I start this at 11:44 a.m. The 144, many codes coming in now, the 333, the 222s, the 77, let's see, 144, 37, 73. Every day these are coming in now. Many synchronicities coming in this morning. Walking out my back door, a cardinal flew up. Gaia brought me the Red-Winged Nation to receive a transmission. And then a couple from the Cat Nation, the Lyrans. A couple nights ago on the way home, driving home, it was right at sunset. There was this bright light that appeared in the sky. It's like, yeah, sometimes it's a star or it's a plane, but this wasn't moving, so I knew it was, I thought it looked like some kind of star or planet. And there was not a cloud in the sky, and it just sat there for about 10 minutes, and it wasn't moving, and then all of a sudden it just disappeared. So it looked like a Merkaba ship, or one of these Ezekiel's wheel type thing. It kind of was pulsating, and then it just faded out to nothing within about 5 seconds. And then last night, just after midnight, I think it was, I was out on my porch, and it was raining, and you couldn't see any stars in the sky. It was totally overcast with clouds. And then I saw to the north 2 glowing orbs. I tried to record them, but nothing came out. It was too dark. And they were in the north over the Lake Erie. And then it started pouring rain. And I saw, like out of my peripheral, flashes of orbs, one after another. So these ships, these plasma beings, these higher dimensionals are coming through every day now. So keep your eyes to the skies. Some of these are cloaking as clouds. We're seeing this in many different forms. Light ships, cloud ships, energy ships. As we're coming into these full energies now. We have a saying in Ohio, I'm not sure if you have it where you are, but April showers bring May flowers. Because normally, yes, beloved, the Winged Nation's coming through again here. Usually we have a lot of rain in April, and then, May everything's blooming and things start drying out. But this year, it's just been constant. Almost constant rain. We have breaks in it, but almost every day we get some kind of rain. Or last night it was downpouring. This morning it was pouring rain. And I was told by a fisherman friend of mine that the lake is one of the highest they've ever recorded, Lake Erie. And we're getting flooding throughout the Midwest and through the New Madrid fault line. And I was reading that massive fires in Canada to the north and to the south, in Mexico, volcanoes erupting, and we have earthquakes. There was over 240 earthquakes on the west coast in the last 24 hours, something like that, or last 48 hours. So we have these fires to the north, to the south. It's like the upper Dantian of Gaia, the lower Dantian on fire in the middle. And of course, in the Midwest, we say the middle of the states, the United States, is over, I think, 400 rivers are flooding. So we have that water coming in, the divine fire and the divine water. So to the north, to the south. So it'd be like the upper Dantian, lower Dantian, the past, the future on fire, burning up. And the water in the middle Dantian, which is the path I teach, the water path, the downward flow, the divine feminine. It's coming in fully now. The energies of the divine goddess, the divine feminine, Gaia. And through the tornadoes, the vortex is opening. These are just what we're seeing in the 3D, what's left of the 3D field, the 3D matrix, or the vortex is opening. And we're grounding the light into the grid, into the field, into Gaia, from our higher self, from the higher dimensions, from 5D up to 12D and beyond, all the way back to source. These are source codes coming in. As our DNA is upgrading, we're calling these Ascension upgrades, many of us. Because it's like new code coming in. It's like an upgrade to the code where our gifts are coming online. Our gifts are manifesting into the matrix to help uplift all of humanity. So we say these rains are cleansing the earth. The fires are cleansing. They're coming together in the middle, as we do in our physical form and our holographic form. So many people are feeling the calling. They want to gather with their tribes, with the Rainbow Nation, with the Star Nation. And this is going to come into play here very soon. Hopefully in the near future, I'll be able to bring on guests. We might do some live stuff and hear other people's stories and experiences, what they're going through, and receive transmissions from our team. So whenever I speak about something in the physical, always think there's a non-physical element. Like the team of 144, they're fully in the celestial, the non-physical realm. And the team of 144, and that's a symbol, that's a code for those that are part of the team. And everyone is involved. There's key players right now that are hearing the calling, that are feeling the calling of the divine, and that are connected to the mission that I came in with. And those people know who they are. And when they hear the code, it awakens something in their minds, in their DNA, to go forth into the world to transmit whatever it is that their mission is at this time. And then we will combine our efforts when the time is right. And that will be soon. I can't tell you the date or the time. Right now, myself, as I do my practices and live out my mission, I'm in a type of holding pattern. So I'm partially in a state of seclusion, of refinement, until the time is right, which certain guides have told me August 15th, I will be fully online and fully capable of transmitting the mission to everyone on the team. So today, I will be given a transmission from Aluna Ash that she put out yesterday. Real quick, I wanted to cover a couple things before I do that about what's coming through strongly, because these Heyoka energies are coming in. The Heyoka were a sacred clown of the Lakota people of the Great Plains, and Black Elk, who was a guide of mine, and he was Crazy Horse's cousin, called himself a Heyoka and talked about as a child the thunder beings came to him. So the thunder beings are also called the thunder birds, and many people have had experience with the thunder birds, the thunder beings. My Sifu in Nepal, Tibet, after the Chinese invaded Tibet, many of the masters went to Nepal and India, and then to the West, to the Western cultures. And his name he's a Sifu Max is a reincarnated High Lama. He's been recognized as a High Lama of Tibet. And his name in Nepal, Tibet was Dorje Sering, and that's Dorje Sering, which is basically Thunder Lama. And it also symbolizes a lightning bolt, because to all these ancient cultures, thunder and lightning were the most powerful forces in nature. And I'm in possession of a powerful Dorje, which I keep on my altar. It's in India, it's called Vajra, Vajra, and it's a Buddha symbol. And some people in Sanskrit translate it as diamond or thunderbolt, thunder and lightning. And it's the power of enlightenment and the absolute, indestructible reality of shunyata, which is emptiness. Emptiness is form, form is emptiness. So these thunder beings are also called sky beings, which are higher dimensional beings that work with the shamans and medicine men and women. My Sifu is a Mongolian shaman of the Blue Wolf clan. And he talks about how it's really the thunder beings, or what they call the Tengri in Mongolian shamanism. The Tengri, I believe it's spelled. The Tengri. They say there's 99 Tengri between the shaman, the being, and the source. The great mystery, we call the great mystery, which some people call God or Buddha or the Tao. So also I want to tell you about, there's an event coming up in July of the Seventh Seal in Sedona. You can go to my website, primedisclosure.com, click on the Seventh Seal and learn more about that. That's from M and Miss M in Sedona, Arizona, and Tolik from Andromeda. Many Lightworkers are going to gather there for teachings and transmissions and the collective energies. So if you feel a calling to that, check that out. Real quick, I wanted to talk about Walter Russell and Leo Russell. Walter Russell was an illuminated teacher who wrote the book The Secret of Light. And I'll put a link in the description below to some of his books. And to me, one of the greatest books ever written was by his wife, Leo. And Walter and Leo got married. Walter was 77 and Leo was 44. Her birth name was Daisy Stebbing, but after she was married, she changed her name to Leo Russell. And that was after the Chinese sage, the Taoist master, Lao Tzu. I'm not sure why she pronounced it Leo. Maybe it felt like the feminine version of Lao, because in Chinese it's pronounced Lao, L-A-O, Lao Tzu, which is T-Z-U, Lao Tzu. He wrote the book, the sacred text, the Tao Te Ching, which is millions of people around the world have read that. It's in several different translations. So Walter became illuminated in the 20s. When he was a child, he merged with the collective cosmic consciousness, the light of cosmic consciousness, and he had a 3rd grade education. He dropped out of school, I think, in the 3rd grade, but he went on to be a great scientist, artist, philosopher. He started his own school, and he had a full awakening, a massive awakening at the age of 14, when he died from black diphtheria, which is a form of black plague that was in the United States at that time. I'm not sure what year that was. I think it was in the 30s. And he was pronounced dead, and then he merged with what he called the all-knowing light of love, and he arose from the dead perfectly healed. and then went on to write several books. One was The Divine Iliad, and then The Secret of Light, and several other books. I have read most of his books and most of Leo's, which one of the greatest books was just simply called Love by Leo Russell. I have in my possession, in my library, a signed copy from Leo. And Walter Russell, let's see, he passed in 1963, and Leo passed in 1988. And they both taught and transmitted love and truth until their day of death. So I'd recommend, I put a link in the description to her book, Love. I like to tell people that my bedroom is a symbol of the Library of Alexandria, because since I was a child, I started reading when I was about 3, and I've read thousands of books, and I've always been surrounded by books, and I absorbed the information when I sleep. And when I was younger, I would read 5 books at the same time, and I was just always a seeker of truth, a seeker of knowledge, and a seeker of freedom. So I would practice what I would read, or I would go to the masters to train. But it was always from the books where I got my initial experience and knowledge, and then I would go out into the world and seek out true teachers, masters, healers, sages, shamans. I've trained with Zen masters and done sweat lodge with the Ojibwe and healings with the Ojibwe medicine man, and met the Dalai Lama back in the 90s. And so I was always a seeker of truth, which many of you are, and that's why you're attracted to some of these videos. So thank you all for sharing your experiences. I was just looking outside a few minutes ago, and we had some pouring rain, and the rain was very cold. And on the roofs of the garages of myself and neighbors, it's, made of, asphalt tile, all that cold. And then the sun just came out, and this extreme hot came down, and these mists, it's like smoke rising from the roofs of these garages. Looked pretty wild. And with the wind, it's like these spiraling wisps of smoke. It just looked very surreal for a minute. It was like the mists of Avalon rising. So many of us are experiencing these surreal events like we're in a dream, because we are a dream within a dream. And we're waking up from that dream, the dream of the matrix, the dream of the separation, the dream of the simulation. We're all becoming awake. We're all coming fully online now in these end times, in the end days, what we call it, which is really the end of the prison of time, the end of the control mechanism of linear time as we move into more vertical or spatial time. So today's transmission from a Luna Ash, or it was actually from yesterday, that today is a galactic activation portal date taking place on an energy known as white magnetic wind. This energy is connected to the next galactic year, which is the white magnetic wizard that we're moving into July 26, 2019. Today is about being present, listening to your inner voice, communicating with spirit, activating your DNA to be able to experience more expansion. Galactic activation portals help to integrate the cosmic rays, information coming into the physical realm. It is where cosmic time meets and merges with linear time. The T-square between the Sun, Jupiter, and Neptune in mutable signs is helping to create the internal adjustments that are needed. Saturn retrograde in Capricorn, sextile Neptune in Pisces is helping us to remain grounded and finally begin to reach harmony through seeing what our inner self spirit feels and what our reality is showing us based off the form it has taken or manifested as. Harmony through conflict, Venus in Taurus, trine Pluto, retrograde in Capricorn is a positive energy helping us to understand the desire of the soul versus desire of the material realm in a harmonious and balanced way. The energy of Pluto and experiences of Pluto aids us in the merge with our infinite self by breaking down aspects of our personality. Today is the 6th day of the 12th moon cycle known as the Crystal Rabbit Moon. Some say this moon cycle is connected to the Mayan twins Hunahpu and Ixbalanque, which I'm sure I didn't pronounce that right. It's Ixbalanque, which is symbolic for seeing past the illusions or distortions of the mind within Maya matrix and overcoming the divine tests and struggles we go through in order to rise up out of the shadows of the underworld. The beginning of manifested change began for many during the 10th moon cycle, detours and releases to liberate during the 11th moon cycle, and now is being crystallized during this current moon cycle, the 12th moon cycle. During this moon cycle, the dots begin to connect. We are getting closer to frequency shift on this planet as this galactic year resonates at the tone 13, closes out, and we begin a new galactic year resonating of the tone 1, which holds the frequency of unity, oneness, attracting, manifesting, our purpose, unification, initiation, 0 point, awakening, merging as one, unconditional love, new beginnings, activation, and the energy of the divine feminine. We also have a wave coming through, bringing more downloads, clarity, clearing, and higher consciousness. And that's from Aluna Ash, 9D. You can find her on YouTube. So I wanted to read something real quick here too from Walter Russell from the Divine Iliad, which was one of his transmissions that he gave in his lifetime. It has been given to me know that regeneration of the body form that which man calls death is within the range of power of inner knowing if the soul has not yet left the body. God took me up into the mountaintop where inspired man is God man, and there gave unto me higher knowledge of the power of regeneration of my body through his all-knowing light. Through the red, violet world and the red, red world to the world of pure white light beyond the world of blue, and back again to the world of pure white simulated light beyond the yellow world. The spirit within me journeyed in ecstasy for which there are no words a man will tell. And this is from Walter Russell, where I received the transmission of the concept of the still white magnetic light at the center of all things, which he graciously talked about in his book, The Secret of Light. So this is from Walter. See, where was I? Sorry, I lost track of where I was at here. So Walter Russell believed that we were entering this golden age or the new age, and he spoke of it in 1932 and about the cosmic plan, that a new age was coming in human relations as transmutation slowly unfolds its new world for man, and as a result a marriage of religion and science. And Russell talked about the premise that not only the human body but also the human consciousness had evolved in stages, and that human consciousness periodically made iterative leaps or quantum leaps, such as that from animal awareness to rational self-awareness many millennia ago. Russell believed that humankind was on the brink of making another key evolutionary leap in consciousness. So this is what we talk about, we've evolved through the Mayan teach 9 levels of human consciousness. And Walter believed the next cycle of human evolution, such as Richard Maurice Buck talked about, would be from rational self-conscious to spiritual superconsciousness, on the order of that experience by sages, artists, and illuminates of the past 2,500 years, such as Imhotep, Akhenaten, the Buddha, Confucius, Lao Tzu, Muhammad, the unknown author of the Bhagavad Gita, Moses, Jesus, Zoroaster, Leonardo da Vinci, Shakespeare, Michelangelo, Emerson, Eddie Whitman. And in 1947-48, Russell wrote, "The New Age is marking the dawn of a new world thought. The new thought is a new cosmic concept of the value of man to man. The whole world has discovered that mankind is one, and that the unity of man is real, not just an abstract idea. Mankind is beginning to discover that the hurt of any man's hurt hurts every man, and to uplift any man uplifts every man." So this was the concept, years ago, of this unity consciousness that we're living in now, that we're coming into full awareness of. And part of this conscious leap, or evolutionary leap, is coinciding with the physical evolutionary leap from Homo sapien to Homo luminous, which is light body, which we will be manifesting into this realm, our pure state, our pure awareness, and our pure love, because that's what it's all about, is living in the love of the light of truth that is the center of your being, that is your true self, your highest self. And if that's the only thing that comes through in these lessons and teachings and in these transmissions, that is all that we need to help through this transition, is to live in the love and the light of the true source of your true self. And if anyone wants to twist that teaching to whatever their belief system is, that's fine, that's okay too. But just know that anything I transmit is for the love of humanity, for the love of life, for the love of truth. I am here in service to humanity and all life in all realms. Everything else is just adding to the truth. It's just adding to the light. So the truth is very simple, is that you are one with Source, you are one with your higher self, and you are one with love. Everything else is a distraction or an illusion, and not a distraction in a negative, bad way, but it's anything that pulls you out of yourself or out of the now, out of truth, out of love, is just a temporary distraction. It's a temporary experience or experiment of the simulation of separation, duality, and conflict. And there's lessons within that. I wanted to, one last thing, talk about the lessons of fear. And a great man once said, "There is nothing to fear but fear itself." And that's a simple concept, but not easy to live by. But we're going to take that to the next level, to the next stage of awareness, and say, there is nothing to fear, not even fear itself. Because fear is just a concept. Fear is just an experience. Fear is not real, but it is something that our perception perceives as reality. And there's nothing to be afraid of. There's even the fear, because fear is just a lesson. Fear is just an experience. It's a frequency. It's an energy. And all beings experience it off and on throughout life. And we learn from that lesson, and we take that with us on our journeys to help heal, to transform, to become aware, to bring awareness into this field. Because sometimes it's the great suffering that brings us back to ourself, that guides us. These lessons you can look at as guides. They're guide stones. They're frequencies of light that bring you into yourself and bring you closer to Source, to God, to truth, to the divine, to the great mystery. So know that we are gathering, we are here together. We are on this mission together to uplift all of humanity through this time of the great shift, through this time of the ascension, through the time of what we call the event energies, because the event is happening now. As we ride these waves, the rainbow waves are coming in. These event waves, these energy waves, these portals are opening as the veil lifts. So we're right on the verge of this great awakening of all of humanity. As individuals awaken to the light, to their divine, infinite, multidimensional selves, this energy is transmitted out into the field, and we are on the precipice of the awakening of the beings of the Homo Luminous. Light bodies, activations, rainbow bodies activating. Have a beautiful and blessed day. Thank you for joining me today. Also, I'd like to thank everyone for your comments, for sharing your experiences in the comments below these videos. Please let us know how you're feeling today, what you're experiencing. I'd like to thank everyone that is joining me on the mission for the blueprint of our first Healing Retreat Center, Sustainable Community in Ecuador. And we're using the platform, the vehicle of a CBD business to help raise funds for the research and development of this mission. That's the beginning stages. And coming up with a business plan and blueprint. I have the vision already in place of what this is going to be and look like. You can find more about that on primedisclosure.com and Dow Day Ecuador. And we're up to 222, another auspicious sign. I just looked at the members of our team that have signed up for the CBD business, and we're up to 222. So I'm behind a few weeks on that. I've been very busy at work in my day job, so I'm trying to reach out to as many people as I can, but my time is very limited right now. So until we're fully on mission, yes, beloved, Gaia's getting my attention right now. So the 222 have come together. You can join our team at cbdpeaceoil.com. CBD Peace Oil, and you'll sign up under one of our team members. When someone signs up, we put them in our traffic rotator, which anyone that goes to the site will sign up under those people. So I'm backed up a few weeks on that because the traffic has slowed down, and now we have 222 people that are needing assistance with this, so it's taking up my time. So eventually, when people step up on the team, they will be able to connect with you and help you in the business building skills, which I'll be doing hopefully soon. Some training, some live training on how to build your online business and get traffic, because ultimately it's a numbers game. It's just the more people that view your website, go to your page, they'll sign up, the more sales you'll make, and the more money in the process. So thank you for joining us here today. Thank you for shining your light brightly into the night. Stay in the heart. Keep living your path of heart and love and truth. I love you all. Namaste.